Hello, Internet, and welcome to Tales of Terragia. I'm your Dungeon Master and Cosmic Tour Guide, Nick Salentano, and these are 6 cats that I have polymorphed into people to play with me. Say hi, stray cats. Meow! Hi.
Everybody, yes!
Yes! Not even
Good job, everyone.
You have no idea how happy that just made.
We understood the assignment.
We did.
Well-oiled machine.
Welcome back, you guys. Before we get started, do us a favor and like, subscribe, and go to anything and everything that says Tales of Terragia and follow us there because it's us. And in the meantime, we're going to entertain you with yet another episode of Tales of Terragia.
Cue music.
The Second Law made their way to Found Town, a sort of community forced into existence by necessity, created by the very few survivors of the Lost Woods that have lived long enough to find this place. You heavily debated the fate of the nest, the small box that you know holds the egg of a titan inside, finally settling on leaving it here in Found Town, buried beneath a newly plotted carrot farm.
Such a good idea.
What could go wrong?
That's the thing. Of all places in Elbrinn or even Terragia as a whole, this may be one of the safest places for it.
They're going to protect those carrots.
You know that it is incredibly difficult to find, and if it is ever found, it's incredibly difficult to leave with it. So, might be a good spot for it. But seeing the desperate and derelict state of Found Town, you each set forth to contribute to the town's survival in some way, shape, or form by performing a little bit of community service and a performance by Harmony to kind of liven up the residents and serve as a distraction while you check on the status of the egg and hide it. So as night has fallen and the crowd has started to gather in the town square of this small village, you all come back together as a group to do what? Second Law?
We are somewhat kind of like a little away from.
Yeah, you have your own like area at the moment.
Okay.
So you do see that people have come.
Give me 10 minutes to prepare for the performance, and 10 minutes till curtains, and then come help me prepare everybody, and then
Does
we
it
can
look like the majority, if not all, of the community is in attendance? Are there any obvious stragglers?
There's definitely a few obvious stragglers that are people that don't seem to be interested. There are a couple people that still remain in the lookout towers, looking out into the. You do notice that their attention is directed outwards into the woods.
Okay, all right.
But there does seem to the majority of the town has kind of gathered. You kind of look around and even see all these kind of small huts and tree houses up in the canopy empty. A lot of the people have sort of like come as both a kind of welcome party and also wake in them thinking that your lives are basically over now that you're here now. Yeah. But people have sort of gathered around and started, and with the promise of an actual musician with actual instruments, with actual talent, has gathered a fairly large amount of attention.
Okay. What if we make like a little backstage area, maybe with like some stone pillars and fabric to kind of make a little enclosed thing, and that can be where I prepare and get ready, and then you guys can also go into the nest from in there. How does that sound?
Who wants to go into the nest to check on it? So.
I can go in and have that reference book that had mentioned the Titans. So if there's any weird things, that has any information.
During community service, was there any things of note that anyone noticed about the place that we should know about?
No, there's just a lot of people that are in need. Well, just real sad. Nothing interesting. I figured maybe I can help you, Harmony, and with distraction, and maybe do a little dancing number with you.
Yeah, lead the dancing to get everyone really focused.
Yeah, I can do a little tap number.
Okay.
Go in with tap.
Yeah.
And Anara and I can bodyguard.
We'll keep an eye out and make sure no one is watching.
And this, poor community, hopefully hopefully we can do all we can to help them once we're back on the other side, because I feel like there's some real desperation here, and also a very strange, well, I guess almost fated to be interaction that I had when I was exploring before helping out some of the townsfolk here. I came across what I assume to be a shrine made to my deity here. It couldn't be anything other than that. Truly, when I came across it, it was as clear as day. It was like I was seeing her face and feeling her presence. But in one of the trees nearby, a weaving of a yarn that felt different, and it's too much to get into now while we're planning this here, but there's...
Was it, you think, left by someone who's here now?
Well, I asked around, and they told me that there was one person who remembered who most likely set that up, and they were a healer here in town who have since passed away, but it was many years ago, and they've left it up for all that time. But it leads me to believe that what I was looking for before I met all you people, my journey was not in vain. Coming here, it seemed to be fated that I found some more information through there. And it seems so strange to have run into it here of all places, and yet also does make a certain amount of sense with all of the magics and symbolism that is wrapped up in it. But it threw me for a loop, and so it just makes me want to help out these people even more. So we just should make sure that we're not doing any harm leaving them, and everything should be well protected. But we definitely have to make sure that these folks are taken care of the best we can once we're gone.
Of course.
Yeah, we will.
So I will go and check on the nest, the egg, with Nik-Nak, and once we confirm that everything hopefully seems the same down there, we'll come back out. And so I would say, Harmony, maybe give how long can you go for do you think you could keep their attention?
I mean, how long do you need, really?
Well, probably no more than 15 minutes, just in case.
Oh, that's no problem.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll even,
But we also want to find a spot to bury
Yes.
maybe a little longer.
Yes.
Do
Well,
a couple
but
extra courses.
yeah, an encore. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a standard, kind of a standard upbeat, happy set only. And maybe, if I still need a little extra time, I can give them a special encore of only the second ever performance of...
I don't know whether we want to talk about the train and...
Oh, yeah. You might be right, actually.
Just in case.
Okay.
These
Just
people,
the classics.
Yeah.
Just the classics. Yeah.
Play the hits.
Nothing about
We're-
woods
we're
or being
mine-
lost.
Yeah,
Just,
the lusty barmaid.
some raunchy songs.
That's right.
Maybe being on the ocean. Stuff to take their mind off it. Okay.
All right.
Well, while we're all talking about this, Nik-Nak is very much like shuffling his feet, looking a little like almost like not present, like thinking a little bit too much, and like kind of constantly looking over at Hops. Be like,
Oh, my ears are just like, bing! Uh-oh. I'll just kind of like hop over, like look around inconspicuously, very obviously, hop over a couple more times, and just like put my head like onto like Nik-Nak's head and just be like, what's up?
I need to talk. I need to talk with you later.
Okay.
Maybe when we break. When we break.
Is everything okay?
What happened?
Are you well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
A-okay. Ping!
Well,
Okay.
if we're
Do
all
we get the sense?
working together, why don't we...
I'm not rolling.
Literally from about 5 feet
Yeah,
outside
I
of
need
the
to
friendship
roll.
circle. From about 5 feet outside of the friendship circle, you just hear, "You guys are fucking weird." His killing is still lingering
I think
around.
Nik-Nak found some scrap metal.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
needs some help.
um,
Shing! Chopping it up.
Yeah, I gotta make it small.
Well, don't take too much. These people don't have a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, this is useless to them. Trust me.
There's not much useless to them, but all right.
Yeah, it didn't
Okay,
seem
well-
like they had much metal here. Is it lead? We can use some of that.
Oh, no. And as far as getting lead, I probably can't do that anymore. Sorry.
Why?
I don't have any.
Nothing you ever picked up was lead?
No. That's much for sure. And I may have had some, but I need it now.
It's in the bag.
Yeah, it's in there.
And couldn't you take it out of the bag?
Surely protecting the nest from any sort of scrying magic would be pretty important.
Yeah, but I think if we bury it deep enough, it'll be fine without the lead.
I mean,
Yeah,
Just
did
saying.
Zakkai say 60 feet?
Whoa,
It's only
a lot of
lead that
feet. I don't know
stops
about
the
60.
spell.
Once we leave, we can find lead outside. in the
Sure,
woods.
yeah.
So can we not use what you have here? It's important.
Yeah. It's really important that I keep it, though.
Okay, why?
Sorry.
Well, I guess we'll trust you then.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
You're being very strange,
Yeah,
but
is everything
you seem
all
very
right? You
concerned
sure?
about everybody, but okay.
I mean,
All right.
don't.
We're not going to push you, I guess.
I know everyone's under a lot of stress right now.
Yeah, I think it's just this whole place is getting me kind of jittery.
Well, okay. Well,
All right, well, I
Alright,
guess
we'll
we'll
be out of
just
here soon.
keep our fingers crossed that no one finds the nest, since we can't hide it from any detection magic.
Great.
And hopefully that these people get out safely, and that the nest doesn't get free, and
I mean-
the Titan doesn't come in.
Sledge has
Destroy
it,
the world.
the nest all secured up real tight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean,
Ting,
it
ting,
could
ting.
just be. It's just one. Any thickness of lead. It doesn't even have to be thick. It's literally just any thin sheet stretched over
Is there enough to
a foot
spare,
by
just
foot
even a little?
cube to
I'll-
save humanity.
I'll
but
look.
okay.
I'll look in the bag. And if there's enough lead in there, I'll bring it out. I don't think that's gonna be enough.
Can I stick my hand in really quick and just like think of lead?
Ooh,
I will try to jerk the bag away if she makes a move for it.
make contested sleight hand roll.
I'll slide my hand. Okay, who's it gonna be?
What is mine?
Come on, bitch. Do we say it on three? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
17.
19.
PvP!
Jack of all trades, baby!
That was literally the difference.
Yeah. Because my sleight of hand is +4. And knowing how bag of holding should work, if there was lead anywhere in there with all the metal you've ever tossed in there, it would have come to hand.
That's true.
We won't take all of
The
it.
guy's done that
Don't
before
worry.
too.
come to hand.
Yeah.
Don't blame it on the crystals either.
Harmony roll.
But it lasts forever. Ew.
Just a bag of dead birds or something.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Ah, Jesus.
Oh, you said that.
Oh,
For the cool youth.
nice. 25.
You reach into the bag, and even though like Nik-Nak kind of pulls away from you, he's a 2 foot tall lizard person, and you are a 5 foot something tiefling woman. 5'4". You're able to kind of like close the distance before you can pull it away, and your hand kind of disappears into the bag, and it is colder inside as you kind of familiar with bags holding those interdimensional spaces, hold entirely different like pocket dimension inside. You reach in and think lead, and you kind of like almost feel a kind of like rush of air up against your palm as something comes rocketing towards you, and you're able to like move your hand just out of the way as a basically like 1 foot long, 1 foot tall, 20-pound anvil just comes out of the bag.
Oh, not that one.
Like lands on the ground.
Oh my.
It's been months since I've seen
How
that.
did you even pick that up to put it in the bag?
How is that not possibly enough?
Well, I was able to just lift it in
Cat
there.
counter.
Yeah, Basil helped and Sledge helped. That was a really
Can
nice
we
find.
just shave?
That was definitely an afternoon.
Okay, well, we only need a little piece of it.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, I guess we can maybe just chop some of this off.
All right,
So there we
well-
go.
Is it some special kind
Or
of
maybe some-
object?
If you promise we can get it back quickly, you can have it.
Actually, well,
Can I insight
you
check?
able-
Is Nik-Nak frightened? Is it what?
Give me an insight check.
did it work
26.
like how I would expect a bag of holding to
I'm
work?
trying
or
to
did it
kind of
feel
figure
like
out like
different?
Yeah,
what's the level of
Worked how
objection?
you
Is
expected
Is
it
it
to,
terror? Is it
but it's
or is
definitely
it
was a bit
trepidation?
different.
greed?
Thing.
Greed, terror,
It's definitely
apprehension.
it's a mix of things.
Okay.
It's at this point slight annoyance.
You're touching my stuff.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
But it's there's like an undercurrent of like desperation and a touch of fear
Okay.
there. I mean, that's a pretty high roll. So,
It's a 26.
yeah. Fear, desperation, annoyance, and like a touch of sadness.
Yeah, okay. Well, knowing that, I take a second and go, well, is it okay? What? If you can tell us a little more
we
about what
don't even
what
need
makes it,
all
but-
of this at all.
but let him
Oh.
tell us. Is there something that are you in danger if you don't keep this?
It's hard to say.
But you might be. Is it protecting you against something?
Not me necessarily, but
Sledgehog?
no. Others.
Others, other
My
family, tribe.
my tribe. My clutch.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
He's trying to protect his burrow, you know?
I know we need the lead, so if
just
you
a tiny
promise you
bit.
don't need all of it.
No, just
Just enough for a box. I
Just
think.
the thinnest sheet to cover the nest.
you can maybe just carve a little off. With
All right. Okay.
Is it the amount that you need, or does it need to be this object intact?
No, it doesn't need to be intact. Just the material.
Okay, just
We'll get you more lead.
we'll get.
Yeah, we can make that a point to find more.
Actually, that's great. And if we could, maybe all prioritize finding more metal for me, that would be great. Also, rope. If you've got rope,
I have rope.
Can I have it?
Yeah.
You
Take one of my
quickly
two
snatch it out of her
50
hand as soon as
pieces
she...
of rope that I pull off my belt.
And these are once we're back. These are things that I'm sure we can easily get mass quantities of
That
for
would,
you.
yes, that would be great. Good.
Take
It's
50
good having
feet
spare
of
parts,
silk
too.
rope.
That's totally
50
fine.
feet.
The nice rope.
I have two, but you can have one.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
stuff.
You. Thank you. Okay.
I need just the one. For
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
I understand.
Well, are you able to work the metal too?
Sure. I can.
Okay.
I can
Sorry,
maneuver it.
I'm sorry.
We are sorry
It's,
to
it's
have taken it rather than asking.
no. I mean, I understand that we need to keep it safe and
Thank you for your sacrifice.
sure. Would like to talk to you. Basil.
You got
Well, when time comes, Kiln can probably help with his fire to break off and shape.
Make it more malleable.
iron.
Yeah.
So,
Is that okay, Kiln?
order of things, do we want to check
Sure.
the nest first?
I don't know if I can-
Perhaps I can go in the nest with Tam
Sure.
while you start working on the box.
Sure.
Okay.
And perhaps you can talk to
Yeah,
Nik-Nak
yeah,
at the time. And then go and do a dance.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't miss it.
And you can
Never
keep
gonna miss
watch.
Harmony show.
And Kil can just do
Okay.
nothing as usual.
And
He'll help keep watch
Maybe
until.
maybe Kiln and Zakkai keep watch. I'll go start playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep as many eyes off us as possible.
Does anybody want a little extra magical assistance before I head off? Maybe Nik-Nak for shaping the lead, and
Sure.
Well,
someone going into the nest.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be dangerous.
I don't think we
I
are
might.
running into anything, but
Bless the Titan Sash.
yeah, and if that
Wow.
happens, everyone's
You'll
in
know
trouble.
about that.
Yeah.
Maybe me, since I'm guarding
To start a new campaign.
guarding the nest, and my
Yeah.
only company is Kiln. And no offense, I don't trust Kiln. I might need.
That's fair.
Why
That's-
no
all the
offense?
advantage.
Yeah, offense is fine.
I'm just being polite.
He's not.
Well, you might learn a thing or two.
Well, if he doesn't want to be left
Sure.
behind, he should probably make sure he's at least somewhat polite. But, and then I'll just kind of do a little strum
Warm
and
up.
send a little tuning. I do one scale, and it like a little like puff of kind of pink musical notes lands on Nik-Nak, and then I'll do another scale, and one lands on you. So I'll just be inspiration, which are D8s now.
Woo!
Ooh.
Plants.
You gave me the metal one.
Yeah.
We're never getting that back.
In the bag.
What's
you got
Gonna
it.
be a, that one's gonna roll a 1.
There's none there. I don't have enough.
So Harmony, as you kind of like
And
head
then, yeah, I'll
out,
go.
start to go out there. Kiln sort of like sets up like guard with you, and he's kind of like leans over like, we don't want anyone to know about what's going on in here.
Correct.
He like reaches up and grabs like more kind of like this by the scruff and just tosses them into the air, and midair he just disperse into a big cloud of like thick like smoke that kind of surrounds the area.
Oh.
The rare helpful act.
Pungent.
I'm gonna.
Can't help the smell. He comes from hell. I can't
Yeah.
really do anything.
It's okay. It's not his fault.
All right.
Party.
It's all natural.
Yeah.
Well said. It's very
are you-
farty.
But
Are
at
you
least
ready?
we'll keep
Natural,
you
Yeah.
looking
everyone
at
does
it.
it.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
do this. Can
So I
you-
guess you have the key, right?
Yes, I have the key.
That's right.
And it's in sledge, right? So
Yeah. Hold on.
Like almost like pops out of it and flies on the
okay,
ground.
I'll take the key, and it's the like chung 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 chung.
Before I go out, can I spend a couple minutes and I just want to ritual cast comprehend languages on myself? Just in case I hear anything.
You got it. Awesome. All right. For the one or two going into the nest,
Mhm.
Tim and Anara,
Uh,
and
Oh, I thought you were making the box.
Oh, that's right. I'm making the box.
I mean, if
so
you
no.
want to go,
No.
Whoever
That's
wants to
fine.
come
Yeah,
with me
that's
is
fine.
fine. Yeah.
I'll accompany them.
Yeah, we're gonna make a box and have a combo, and
Yeah.
then I'll split into the shell. Whatever happens.
once the key kind of like slides itself
Keep an eye
in
on
through
Kim.
all
Yeah,
17
I am.
different locks, it latches open, the top kind of pops open. You're able to kind of stretch it and
Okay, right.
move the plates out so it expands
Highly
still,
untrustworthy.
and you both see that
Zakkai's type.
staircase that descends down into darkness.
Okay. All right.
Why does that not?
He's got issues.
Let's be careful, but
I'm ready. I'll
Alright.
draw the sword and
um,
I'll also keep Slate with me because if I recall right, it's dark. And
it is dark.
Yeah.
But we've been through before, so
we know
hopefully
what we're doing.
know what we're doing. Yeah. And yeah, I'll follow on our end.
You both kind of like go in, and then a certain like distance down, you both kind of pop out
Yeah.
of existence. As you kind of go, Kiln does lean over to you. Like, I'm not gonna ask him to go inside. You're not gonna let me in anyway. But like, what's a Titan egg like?
Big.
Smash cut.
Smash cut. Both Tam and Anara step out of darkness into those last
That's
few
good writing.
steps. Kind of leads into that small, narrow room. The same like
Coats.
littering of those lab coats. That large sort of like glass, almost syringe kind of like device laying on the ground. Door at the other end of the room. Small like electric bulb, kind of slowly pulsing a dull kind of electric teal color. Very slowly, kind of gently pulsing, and then it goes back down.
Just seems like how we left it.
Let's spend a moment and see if we can detect any difference in the rate.
Okay.
Watching.
I'm like counting
I'm
in my
gonna also
head.
try and, from my recollection, see it. I mean, it's not significantly faster. Where it's like before it was slow, and now it's
No,
going like crazy. It's still regular.
Measured pace.
Measured.
Yeah. Okay.
Any sense that it's quicker?
Not from what you remember. It seems to be kind of pulsing at that same kind
Same-ish rate. Okay.
of slow rate.
Seems to be.
Before we go in, can I
Sliced it.
smell anything coming through the door? Like a change in smells like egg goop or anything?
Give me a perception check with advantage.
I'm gonna.
Using that charm.
I'm gonna listen to see if I can hear any squawking.
Give me a perception check as well. Come on. Smell check, ear check.
That's not a great roll, but 16.
I rolled 2 19s.
Wow.
Nice.
You hear nothing. You smell that same kind of familiar, like kind of sharp tinge, kind of like almost like kind of medicinal, acrid kind of smell that
Similar
you're familiar.
The lifeblood. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess no time like the present. Cool.
Open the door. Smash cut again.
Yeah.
Up top, Basil and Nik-Nak, your harmony has kind of like walked off. Zakkai and Kiln are off, like kind of guarding the area. Tem and Anara are in the nest. What are you two up to?
As I'm manipulating the anvil to try and form a box out of it, I will lean over to Basil and be like, I got some bad news. I haven't heard from them in a while, and I was out looking for stuff, and they sent a letter.
You got something back.
Yeah,
Uh-oh. That's not good news.
here.
Uh-oh.
It's not ideal.
Can you read Draconic?
No.
Pass that back, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot I never got around to teaching you that.
This doesn't look good.
He's pretending.
Why don't you tell me what it means?
Well, essentially, it says this is just between like no one else is sort of in this vicinity.
No, you have.
I bet you
Well,
maybe
party
like
privacy.
taught me like some word or some
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
characters.
I'll
and
just-
maybe just was like maybe
We can
saw like
maintain.
bad or help or
Yeah.
what, I don't know.
I'll just
Yeah.
It says it says she knows where we are. She found us. Need more time. The river cavern is lost. Need rope. More metal, lots. Good luck, Commander.
Uh-oh.
So, the work needs to speed up.
Okay. Rope. More metal.
Yeah, lots.
We've been trying to. What about? Was the crystals not enough, or did they just need more of the exterior?
I think they need more of the exterior,
Oh no.
more of the interior, more of everything.
Okay.
But she knows they're there. I think.
What do we do?
I think they're safe for now. Otherwise, they would have said everything's not good. But
Do we need to jump in eventually?
maybe. But here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
If we're going to this school of harmonies, maybe that there's some materials we can gather there. Maybe there's information. And also, I was thinking, it's all of these. She's been telling us about like fae stuff. So maybe we can 2 birds, 1 stone, and
she's been making lots of portals. It's
yeah,
she's got some progress.
maybe we can find some information about your sister while we're there too.
Mint always said if you don't know anything, it's always good to find someone smarter. Ask
Yeah.
for help.
Yeah. So
Huh?
more.
About that time, a big cloud of this smoke appears at the other end.
So yeah, maybe at this Prismari place, I can look for some materials or some schematics or some just research in general, and we can also maybe look into finding mint.
Sounds great. Okay. So how about here? Lug this thing back in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find some way to do
Sledge and I had to work overtime
I
last
know.
Maybe Zakkai can just launch it in too.
Oh, that's a good idea. It'll be a little bit less heavy once I'm finished with the box, but
Okay.
rope and metal, more.
Got it.
And
Well-
maybe we expand a little bit, maybe even like glass or strong hardwood, anything at all.
Well, I guess I had this rope too, which is like my giant like yarn thing too, just like oversized thing. It's like, well, I guess this might work too. I don't know.
You're gonna give me that?
Well, I mean, it's thick stuff and it's fade bits. I don't know. It's memento, but anything I can help. Here you go, Commander.
Thanks, Ops. I'll make sure that they put it somewhere really nice.
Neat. Make it a cool tail or something.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
I
We
guess-
got this.
Yeah.
She won't know it hit him.
No. And they're gonna be fine,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The burrow's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
safe.
Okay. Okay. Let me get this box.
The little guys are striking back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Hops.
Okay. You start like grinding away. It's a middle.
We'll just continue.
Enter like cutscene of just like push it to the limit. Like, mashup song.
Wait, we have a montage?
Yeah.
Almost as if right on cue, Harmony steps out from the group.
Where's
Harmony. Go ahead and get you step out in front of a fairly decent sized crowd, bigger than the music box crowd. It's a entire like village sort of here to see you, and you see like a good like few 100 folk out there, maybe like 100 even.
Wow.
Kind of scattered around, all eagerly like kind of waiting and watching, and just excited to see not only new people, but when they see that your actual like harp and lyre and everything, it's like seeing the Mona Lisa. They're just like, oh my god, something an instrument that has all its strings.
Wow. I'm
not
so
gonna get
happy
her
to
to
be performing for you all. Please enjoy the music. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep it to upbeat, lively, anything like loud that'll get people all moving around, dancing with each other, stuff like that.
After a few seconds, you even get a little bit of like a beat behind you from loud anvils clanging and smashing. That weirdly kind of like helps sync up a little bit.
Yeah,
Gives
yeah.
a little bit of a drive.
And I
Solid
kind of hear it a little bit and just make sure I'll just try to, as much as I can, use like prestidigitation or like thaumaturgy to just like make my music louder. And I'll kind of do a similar. I'll put like the bells around my like ankle and just like everything. We're just trying to make it all noisy and everything is like loud, but also like fun, upbeat, rousing type of songs. A little raunchy songs. Nothing sad, nothing about being lost or missing home.
Fair enough. Give me a performance check with advantage.
Just all diverting. I'm giving this one more chance.
Risky game.
It was better than the other one, actually. 21.
Absolutely. Hold everyone's attention as they sort of it's easily one of the most, if not energetic, the most appreciative audience that you've ever had. No, unfortunately, like coins or roses are tossed up at you. There's not much to spare here. You find that gold has little to no value here, mostly because there's very little, if any, of it. But the level of enthusiasm and thanks from these people is overwhelming.
Are there
People-
kids here too?
Yeah, there are a few children.
I'll just do little prestidigitation fireworks and like just little things like that.
She's Gandalf.
I'll say
Yeah.
Full Gandalf at the birthday party.
Yeah.
Zakkai's behind this. Ooh.
Like, ooh, look at that one.
Whoa!
Kind of like firework comes and explodes in a like kind of like blue teal flash of light just as that door on the inside of the egg chamber opens. Anara and Tem, you step in. Same large kind of like air hanger kind of empty room. Massive Goodyear blimp-sized egg sitting right in the middle of it.
Does it look pretty much like it did before?
just like it did before.
No obvious cracks.
Not yet.
There's
Seems to be
no
status quo.
scrambled egg yet.
Do we think we have some time?
I
I know you're
what my gut
about
says
reading, yeah.
is that something needs to happen in order for this to
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
hatch. Like the reason that they were going so fervently to try and figure out this grand evolution and the lifeblood and all these things, there has to be some missing piece here. Otherwise, why wouldn't they have done it already? Or what, they wanted to bring the Titan back. What was stopping them?
Yeah.
So I think we're relatively safe
For
now. It's stable.
Okay,
but
good. I agree. I hadn't thought of that, but I think you're right. I know you were concerned about leaving it here, but
I think
I do think
it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be any surprises.
so. Shall we head back?
Yes, that's totally fine.
Before we head to the others, I was struck by what you said about the weaving that was left here.
Mm-hmm.
You felt it was fate or a message of some kind meant for you?
I don't know if it was meant for me, but it was certainly something divine. There was no way that I could have misinterpreted at least what I saw. It's hard to describe the feeling that Emiya brings to people, because everyone does feel it at some point, that sense of belonging and understanding and peace. And coming across a message in a place such as this, where all these folks are tossed together, down on their luck, not able to see a way forward, it made it all the more powerful. And I swear I saw her in that weaving. She was there, but even more than that, and I would tell all the others if they asked, but I'll let you know right now that the weaving was specifically in the shape of Elberin. The negative space of the weave was the continent, and in the woven oceans there was a glass crystal embedded in what is the middle of the Sapphire Sea. It's away off the coast.
You think it is a signal, a place to go?
It seems very deliberate. I don't know what it could have meant, but it is more of a lead than I've had in regards to Emiya and her messages that I have been tracking down. So
A place that we may...
I mean, it's in the middle of the ocean, so we would need a ship, I think, but it is more than I was expecting to have found on this journey. I was my single-mindedness of trying to figure out, all of this stuff with the Tartarucci kind of it overtook everything. But now seeing that, I have a renewed vigor to try and determine what it meant and how I can best further my exploration of this.
I've said it before. Perhaps to some of you, sometimes the path reveals itself once you're already on it. This is what I hope for my own journey.
That resonates very much with me. I feel that it is an almost universal truth that you are only able to really sometimes see that path after you're already walking down it. But I think that's what happened here. And we'll see. I mean, clearly we have things to take care of, but it inspired hope.
Grateful for you sharing. It's inspired me that I should do one more thing before we leave this place.
Yeah, I think all loose ends should be tied up, because these poor people may not have much going for them, and especially once we leave, I'm sure
they have the second law going for them now.
That they do.
Let's join the others.
Yeah. Securely close the door behind us.
Yeah, we'll head back out.
Make my lashes.
To
Head back
the
out.
out to
Yeah.
lock up the nest.
With Basil's assistance and your expertise on the matter, it doesn't take too long for you to kind of formulate and, but through the use of like heat metal, spells like that, and your tool sets as well as Sledgehog. At some points, he'll like lend hammers, saws, whatever he's able to capable of creating with himself to sort of sliver off little pieces of that lead anvil until you're able to kind of like use those slivers to form a box that's ever so slightly bigger than the nest. That Tem and Anara kind of step out of the darkness and out of it. You can see that like as they come out, Kiln kind of like cranes his neck to see inside and then realizes that it's like magical darkness spirits. And just kind of gives up and pouts a little bit that he didn't get to see anything.
Well, it's safe. And I think we're fine.
Great.
Harmony's performance is going well.
Yeah,
we
there,
built a box.
Box is done.
there were lights in the sky. It was incredible.
Missed it.
There's one thing I would like to do before we leave.
In that moment, you realize that Zakkai may not be the best guard doing it as he's distracted by the shiny lights in the sky.
Hey, if he's distracted, then
Man, I wish I got to see the show.
yeah, there's one thing I now want to do before we leave. So if I'm not needed immediately, I'm gonna head off and do that.
Sure.
But-
Harmony's still kind of rapid performance, but in the meantime, I'll kind of prepare for departure. But what are you gonna slip off and do?
So speaking to Tam and like hearing about his experience with the weave kind of put an idea in my head that who knows, maybe one day someone would gain insight if they got lost here from a message such as that. So I'm gonna go to a spot a little out of the way but near one of the ruins or the stones and find a rock and then use the sort of like small paintbrushes and inks that I have to paint the Hexanomicon symbol on the rock and just place it in a spot where perhaps someone who knows what it is would find it one day if they were lost here. And then I'll also take I'll pull out the little pouch of a few of the leaves and seeds of the plant and plant them next to the thing so that that plant would grow here. So maybe one day, if we aren't able to rescue these people, if someone else who knows my lore is here, they might find a message such as the one that Tam found. And so thinking of how this was so profound for him, it inspired me to leave something behind just in case we are not successful.
You kind of slip off just to the outskirts of the town where those rings of those glowing, which also weirdly gives the evening in this town a strangely both like kind of depressing but beautiful thing. As you get to the edge of the town, there's little tiny stars of that pale pastel
paint.
lights that kind of like pepper it out throughout because there's obviously the larger rocks, and then you kind of notice only at night that even some of the smaller stones that are just like scattered around and left here have that faint like glow to them. You find one that it's unmarked, to trace that with those delicate brushes and that ink, that symbol that you've painted 1,000 times until your fingers knew it by heart. That same hexagonal shape, kind of set it down, plant those seeds, turn a step away from it. Even Anara doesn't see that six-sided figure gently glows a faint purple before fading out.
Did you go by yourself, or did you like tell us that you're?
I said I had a thing to do, and if I'm not needed right now, So I was gonna. I'm not being sneaky.
Yeah,
I'm not. So if anyone was following, I wouldn't be concerned about that. Okay.
But you kind of like make your way back to the group. You can hear like harmony and the roar of applause kind of coming from the.
Wanted to one more thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So I wanna. Did I notice whether Kayla was at the performance or not?
Yes, and she is.
Okay. So I just wanna actually now sneakily head up into the treehouse again, where I did all the stuff, and then leave a small piece of paper in the book that I know she was looking at, her like logbook, that just says, "We'll be back."
Ooh, okay.
and then join the others.
Not too hard to find. As weirdly as inconspicuous as it is obvious.
You
a
came
cloud
by
of
and then
dark
you left
smoke.
again.
Yes.
But you kind of see and hear the roar of the crowd as like I don't know how long you intended to go.
I would just keep playing until I see someone from my group kind of come approach. Not Basil, because I thought maybe he'd come dance or whatever, but someone else that kind of comes and kind of like lingers towards the back with just like a. And then I would kind of wrap up the song and just be like, oh my god.
I'd probably pop out and just like
What a great.
hold the box up, be like,
And I would just be like,
I'll help with it too. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
it's like, okay, everybody, let's watch this. Like,
But we're gonna bury it while she's playing, right? Isn't that
Oh,
the
I
plan?
think we
Yeah,
did talk about that.
distraction.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess so.
that's true,
Okay.
that's true.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay, so then I guess then I will.
do you guys want some more?
I'll
Okay.
take around, and then I'll join.
Basil, start the
then
call
I'll-
for the encore.
Yeah, I'll go in and then I'll join Harmony in, and I'll start like a tap dancing bit to go on beat
Yeah.
with what she's doing, and do like interpretive dance.
Adds even more kind of music to it, as like every other step is like a clanging, clinking clack against the ground with the metal foot of yours. Where are you going with the box? The rest of y'all.
Did
well, I
we
guess we'll
establish
put the
a
box in
carrot
the
patch?
box,
For the box and box.
Yes. Did we establish a carrot patch? Yeah.
and you can dig real quick, right?
Yeah, very quickly.
Shall we?
So, yeah.
And
I mean,
deep as you can.
and just in a place where.
Just where we'll know. Okay. I'll do it north. There wasn't as many people up there.
Right.
Okay. So I'll take the box and I'll start moving north.
Kale, can you bring the smoke to hide?
Yeah. Come on. And you from just the nebulous empty area, you just hear like wow, wow, as the cloud kind of.
I
starts
just
to
want to
drift.
also keep an eye on the people who are still on the lookouts. Just make sure they're still looking out.
Give me a perception check.
22.
You kind of like look up and see, and just to cover your bases, kind of look up and see all the watchtowers. The folks that are in them seem to be focused out into the woods.
Paying special attention to the one that was mentioned to me. Yes.
He's not up
Okay. Right. I'm gonna keep looking as this is happening to see if he's around. Or if we're being watched at all.
So far, at least with that check, you kind of look around. You're pretty confident at least no one is
In the-
noticing
in
you.
the vicinity. Okay. Alright. I think we're good.
Quick as you can.
Will do. Come on, hot stuff.
I don't know if that's a compliment or a joke or what anymore.
I'm gonna grab you by the front of your shirt.
He's still wearing a bonnet.
By the little body.
Yeah.
Get by the bonnet strings.
Let's go.
Okay.
It will kind of get sort of out to the northern part of the village.
It's a pretty cool trick that Mort can do.
It comes in handy for quick escapes.
Seems
we
like
should be doing.
okay. We'll wrap it up. I'm going to when we get to the little north patch region, I'm going to cast Pitfall and create a really deep pit. Jump down with the box, kind of place it, shoot myself back up or climb up or whatever, and then start to kind of collapse it in on itself as I cover it with dirt. And I'm going to add a couple layers of like hardened stone so that it can kind of like stack on itself so that it's not just like shovel my way through.
Gotcha. Especially, it's a bit of an understatement as when you ask, like, oh, you can dig pretty quickly, right? So the guy said, yeah, pretty quickly. At one point, he literally just digs his heel into the ground and twists, and almost as if just someone let a stopper out from on the other side, sand just starts pouring down into his empty space. Long cylinder that leads about, 10 feet, I think it is?
Yep.
10 feet deep. Kind of hollow little cylinder. Jumps down, fill it back up. Almost as if there were no hole there to begin with.
Fantastic.
By the end of this campaign, the world is just going to be full of treasure.
Yeah,
That we've hidden.
we married a friendship bracelet so far. We got this. What else we got?
The next campaign is
This
just
is our
going to
next
be
campaign with
all
a
of the
bunch of
things
stuff.
on
Yeah,
X marks
Just
the
digging
spot
up
of
everything
all of our
compared to
things.
first
Yeah.
campaign.
Oh my god, the next campaign we're all squirrels.
Yes.
So then we'll make our way back
You
towards.
do see that at one point, like when you make the pit for it and kind of climb back out, it starts off as almost a genuine like moment where Kiln like kind of like nods in an impressed way and it's like, that's real handy. That's like 8 bodies you fit in there.
Okay.
It immediately takes it. It starts off as like, oh my god, he said something nice, and then quickly makes a hard left.
I appreciate that.
I'm just saying it's handy.
Let's go. And as well, I got mini tricks up my
Bicep.
scarf.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Great. You guys buried the egg. Let's go.
All right, we're good.
Feels,
ready?
yeah, feels like it should be more momentous than this, but yeah,
The
let's.
compost is in the ground.
Okay.
And Bell.
Power slide.
Wow.
Woo. I'll have to play some more again for you all another night. I am beat. Woo. Wow. And then I just kind of like ruffle the kids' hair and everything. Like, okay, well.
So sad.
Don't gotta go home, but you can't stay
we come back to
here.
take that.
Oh.
You can.
Oh god.
That's harsh. Like, see you all later.
Amazing.
And then I'll kind of walk off. I guess I'll, whatever, pack all my stuff off and everything. And once people are like, I'm not just gonna like run away, but like people are dispersing, the show is over. Thank you so much, blah 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 blah. And then like, I'm so tired, gotta go.
Yeah, find a small, like, kind of secluded area for the rest of you. Bit, you're able to get there.
Everyone wrapped up with everything, or
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I think so.
Oh
We're
wait,
good.
I'm gonna take the out of my bag, the bento box, and I'll just like leave it there for them.
yeah,
Just so they have something.
yeah,
That's so
food,
sweet.
food.
We'll be back, but at least we know that they'll have this. So
That's
we're
that's
fine
good.
without
That's
it.
good.
I haven't
That's-
even
that's
used it. I
nice.
haven't even used it.
Yeah, we have plenty of rations already too.
That's real good of you.
But I won't leave it like where we left. Like, well, we buried it somewhere else, right?
Yeah. I would
Okay,
know.
yeah. Okay. Then yeah, I'll just kind of like leave it on the ground, I guess.
Leave it near the carrot patch.
Yeah.
I'll put it on a little stone pedestal for you.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay,
Even
that,
better.
that looks better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Little
didn't want to
shrine.
like go walk somewhere and leave.
Ground
someone will find it.
food.
It's not a big town. Someone will find it, but that looks nice.
Hey,
Okay.
don't mock ground food.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So, we're going out of town to use the scroll.
I think
so.
we should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just in
that
case.
makes
Just
the
a
most
little
sense, yeah.
ways so they, so anyone is less inclined to follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out to make sure.
Yeah,
we're not
keep an
followed.
eye out, and should we tie ourselves together just to make sure that no one wanders off or disappears or anything?
Yeah,
That would
sure.
be
Let's
the-
do it.
Icing on the cake if it happened now. So
No one.
I'm out of rope, so
I have one more piece.
Okay, I still had mine too.
Later.
yeah,
We need-
you will have all the rope that
We'll
you
get- we'll
need
get lots of
right
rope
now,
for you.
just to string
We'll
us
get you-
along.
We'll get you mantle. We'll get you rope.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for helping with the.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
The lead.
It's okay.
We'll get you more.
There's a lot of metal out there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Kiln,
So
you ready to leave this place?
Please.
Let's go, Mark.
Was he well behaved? Does
he was a
deserve
good
to
boy.
leave with us?
He was a good boy.
better than average.
He almost gave a nice compliment.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really nice compliment.
It was
Did
a
he-
nice. It was a nice
Did he
compliment
do
for
that thing
Kiln.
where he did that and then
Said something
ruined it?
awful
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
should
yeah.
we should definitely take him. These people have been through enough.
That's true. The kindest thing
Yeah.
we could do.
You're so right.
Take him away. Yeah.
All right. Lucky you. All
Ah,
right.
come on. I can like elbow him in the ribs a little bit. Come on. Crack a
He's
smile.
gotta start liking us eventually.
It might take a while.
Wow.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Still keeping an eye out for
Onlookers.
eyes.
Yeah, probably not too far, but for sure out of eyesight of what the guard towers, I guess, would be.
Mhm.
Kind of leave the safety of the perimeter of those like glowing stones out into the woods, which are even more foreboding and horrible and terrifying looking in the dark at night. But you're able to sort of like leave it, that soft glow of Found Town kind of disappearing behind you, and you're pretty confident you're fair ways away from the city. Or city.
No sign within probably.
Slums.
No.
All right.
All right, and there's no one's around. Probably no one
That's as
followed
far as
us.
I know.
No, I don't feel anyone.
Do we want to use any sort of like cover just in case, just to make sure?
I've never teleported before. I don't know how this works.
Well,
Yeah.
can we do?
Can you come
Just a little
through?
visual.
I can.
I'm not gonna leave him behind.
We
you.
have no. We have.
Zakkai, what if you
No,
just
no, no,
kick
I-
up some dust, or you know?
Yeah, actually, I was kind of studying Mork. It's a good idea. I'm gonna cast Dust Cloud as I create a 10-foot, 10 by 10, just smoke or sand cloud of just like dust flying through the air to obscure our.
I'll have
Obscure us.
Sling fall back into attaching.
Okay, everyone, double check. Got everything?
I think so.
Yep.
Harmony.
Okay.
Sledge?
Got my tail.
Thank goodness.
All right. Here we go. I'll take the scroll out and I guess put it probably on the ground and unroll it, and then whatever I need to do to, I'll just kind of
What
put
happens
a little
now?
finger to it and just like,
Sing that. You can like sing that note, and from where your finger touches, the like ink on the parchment lights up a faint like pink before it like glows brighter and brighter and fills in all the little spots. The arcane symbols on the parchment almost come off the parchment in the sense that the magic extends off of the scroll before it forms a large glowing circle of arcane symbols on the ground and lights up. Lasts for 1 round.
Here we
Success-
go. Jump on
in.
down, jump, jump.
Yeah, jump
I
in.
mean, Kiln doesn't push anyone out of the way, but he might as well have as he quickly kind of like rushes for it. Woo! Each one of you disappearing into it before that circle vanishes behind you. Since then, it's been nearly 2 weeks
God.
since you left Fountain Town. Since then, you've moved on to far more pressing matter, one perhaps even greater than the fate of the world itself. Harmony's dissertation at Prismari College of Arcane Arts. It was an unforgettable sight to you all, teleporting into this magical academy in the heart of Yokai, the capital city of the Sylvan Dynasty. The school itself is breathtaking. The campus quads are coated in lush green grass, broken up by glossy marble walkways. A kaleidoscope of flowers and exotic plants add splashes of gorgeous color and texture. Pink ivy crawls up the stone walls. Trees with pastel leaves bear strange-looking but sweet-smelling fruit. Life buzzes everywhere you go, as students, faculty, and guests all hustle, saunter, and everything in between to different buildings and various zen gardens and large koi ponds where you can see glimmering aquatic creatures lazily swim, presenting an even more and wider array of color and shine to this place. Sculptures and arcane art pieces litter the pathways, ranging from the simple and elegant to ostentatious and eye-catching. Massive towers stretch up to the sky all around you, each painted in one of Prismari's 2 school colors, a warm but deep crimson red and regal royal blue. The school's architecture leans more towards that of the traditional Sylvan Dynasty style. Tall pagodas and beautifully curved edges. Massive swaths of gossamer fabric billow in the wind as they curl around the towers like decorative clouds that are permanently kind of like in a constant little swirl around them. Many of the other towers have large swirling sculptures of glass that just kind of curl around the outside of the tower, as if they were like giant flames frozen in time. Clearly, Prismari's focus on the more artistic side of magic is on prominent display. As guests of one of Primari's students, you have been offered 2 empty dormitories in the Nasari Hall, each fitted with 2 beds, a small wardrobe, and each of you are given a small glass pendant of the Prismari symbol of arcane ingenuity, which grants you limited access to the great deal of the campus as guests of one of the student body. Although this amulet permits access to many of the common areas, classrooms, study halls, and other portions of the school are still prohibited to you unless you are accompanied by Harmony or a member of the faculty. During this time, it's been almost 2 weeks now. A couple things have happened. Not only has Harmony been welcomed back, you didn't realize just how popular Harmony seemed to be. As she returned to school, a lot of students seemed to recognize her. Plenty of people run up to her, asking her a million questions on where she's been, what she's seen, what's her dissertation going to be on. Is it going to be a surprise? Is she going to reveal it to everybody else? There are many faculty members that are also there. A few of them giving Harmony a sort of not wide berth in the sense that they don't want to see her. They're more kind of just almost as if they're trying to avoid spoilers.
This is a big deal to y'all.
During your time here, also, a couple things happen while you're here. Basil, your time at Prismari, past couple weeks, we could get into what everyone has done shortly, but something 100% happens to you, whether you like it or not. Your time here is a bit confusing. Ever since you arrived here, you felt a little strange. You've never been here before, yet everything feels familiar. Like you came back to your hometown, but everything was moved around or switched. One moment you're completely lost, and the next you know exactly where you're going. Harmony told you about the dynasty and how an isolated country separated from the rest of Elbrinn by a narrow sea and plagued with spontaneous portals into the Feywild that seem to open and close at random. This place is the closest you've ever come to getting home. And yet, without one of these portals, you're still an entire reality away from home. It happens suddenly and without warning on one of your aimless wanderings throughout the school. You feel a tickle rise up one of your ears before a spark crackles from one ear to the other, and your head turns almost as if it was turned for you towards a door.
I slowly walk towards the door and slowly put in divine senses and and see if I get any vibe checks towards it and walk towards it hesitantly.
You get closer to the door.
Trembling hands.
And that kind of spark that links to your 2 ears gets a bit more intense and crackles louder as you pick up a strong Fey presence beyond that door.
I want to slowly peek through the door and kind of slowly open the door and see what I can kind of peek inside and find out. Do I feel as if anywhere I'm at particularly has been any spots Harmony told me not to go to, or it seems relatively it's fine to walk around in?
Where you are in one of the more common areas of the school, but that you're allowed to be in.
Yeah. Then I'll just slowly kind of open up the door and see what I peek on through.
You peek through the door and are instantly kind of taken aback for a second because the door opens and you're kind of met with a sudden gust of steam. Just kind of hot mist kind of hits you in the face. The door swings open into a sort of indoor-outdoor space. There are walls but no ceiling. The ground is covered with smooth pebbles. Beautiful trees with soft pink cherry blossoms hang above little hot springs and pools in the ground. This is a sort of bathhouse or kind of communal area for students to come and unwind after their studies. There's no sound other than the tapping of bamboo water features that pipe in hot water without any visible source. But you do hear it. A distant whisper at first coming from the far end of the room where you see one of those hot springs glowing. But you hear a voice of a young girl calling, Basil! Basil!
I go closer to Mint! And I just slowly rush towards it and put my ear to the portal and Mint!
As you get close to it, your perspective seems to shift as you look into the water. It's almost like you're looking up out of water. As you kind of like look in, you see a dark tunnel with a light at the end, and silhouetted against the light, small figure, 2 large ears. Basil!
And I like dive into.
You sort of like dive into the hot spring, and then you're kind of like billowing it. It's a weird space where you dive in, and you're in this weird space about maybe 5 or 6 feet of water where the hot spring that you dove into ends, and the other end of the water where the tunnel is begins. In this weird kind of like nebulous spot, you paddle and swim through it, and you feel a sudden snag as your artificial leg is caught on something. You look back and see a massive, much, much, much larger than you, hand, gnarled and old fingers with long, crooked fingernails, grabbing your kind of chest piece leg and
Kicking.
pulling you back.
No. And I just tried to like smack my leg, just like cast like Eldritch Blast or like release any buttons or just like random like screwdrivers, like corkscrew stuff, like any Swiss Army things are just like popping out of like frustration. Like anything, just make it work.
You do that, and like Eldritch Blast launch from your feet, the electricity crackles between your ears, giving like flashes of light to this otherwise darkened like space, and you see in the dark behind that large hand that's grabbing your foot, long crooked nose, a pair of bloodshot eyes, one a muddy brown, the other a vibrant purple, long scraggly gray hair that sort of like drifts in the water, a long, loud, high-pitched cackle as it pulls you closer and closer and closer.
I'm just gonna keep like swimming as much as I can and just start like swirling and wriggling around like
You look up through the other end of the water and you see a small herringon hand splash in and is reaching around.
I try to like grab onto it as much as I can.
Basil, she's gonna get them all.
No, not everyone. Just come back. Help me hit this.
Make a strength saving throw for me, please.
Neat. That would be a 16.
16.
Whatever that was, that. Yeah, never mind. Keep going.
Unless you're doing something.
Nope, I'll let it roll. I don't know what it was, so I'm just gonna.
Fortunately, you fail that strength save as you are yanked back, and you find yourself kind of like splashing up out of that hot spring onto that pebbled floor in that communal-like bathhouse area. The water in front of you, normal. You see the bottom of the pool.
I'll just kind of like curl up into like a little like ball, just start hanging the ground. Like, no, I was so close. Dang it, man! And I'll just kind of like sob there in the ground, just kind of like hop into the pool and just kind of like wait at it and see if anything happens to it. Just
For the hours that you're there,
I'll just kind of sunkenly, like ears like slunken all the way down, just slowly return back to wherever the quarters are, with everyone just defeated. The one time my herringon little scarf thing just ceases to blow in the wind.
not blowing in the invisible wind.
Yeah. Sad day.
Y'all have been at a magical school for 2 weeks now. What have y'all been up to? Please tell me.
So one thing I want to do is, I think it's conditional. I want to find if access to any library of lore that we have access to with the past that Harmony has, and I want to contribute to it if it's not there already. A full copy of the philosophy of the Hexamark, which I can trace out from memory, write out the symbols and the whole system, and maybe it's there already. Maybe they are aware of it. But if they are aware of it, I want to check that it's accurate.
You're certainly able to get access to the library. Certain areas are barred from you unless you're accompanied by Harmony or a staff member. But in the areas where it would be, you find nothing. You ask the librarians if they have anything like that or of that name or similar messages like that. No, they do not. But once you sort of offer anything,
I'd like to
there is
make a donation.
there is a heightened level of almost kind of anticipation and excitement. It seems that Prismari and its faculty are very accepting and eager to add knowledge to the school and add it to the public access.
Yeah. So it probably takes quite a long time to write out all the tenets because I want to do a really good calligraphy job of
Absolutely. If you're going to leave it here, it's going to have to be great.
Yeah.
So
that I'll spend some of my time making sure they know.
absolutely fantastic.
I imagine I came with Nik-Nak, and this is probably a liberal arts school. They probably have like a wood shop or metal smith shop, so maybe finding some scrap bits there, or maybe find a random, either before or after that occurred, find a paint studio and probably find like the abstract painters that are just like throwing shit on the wall, like Jackson Pollock, like real expressive stuff. I would probably like be there and get like wild and crazy with stuff and just get all try to like mimic finding like any portal like visual stuff representation of it that I can do.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Not hard to come by.
That is
Absolutely.
the Exonomicon.
Oh, it,
Oh, the whole thing.
That's the symbol.
That's awesome.
And I believe it is the entire.
Accessible only exclusively to our Patreon members.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll totally.
Spoiler.
Coming soon.
Depending on when you're watching this.
Coming soon.
Easy enough to find, and certainly as you all kind of explore and kind of venture out through Prismari, it is very much the liberal arts version of a magic school. Everything here seems to be focusing magic towards a more creative way of using it, as opposed to focusing on damage or protection. Not any one magical school seems to be a focus, which is a bit different from what you are used to at Lorehold, which is very rigid and very Ivy League.
Yeah.
This is definitely a more kind of free and inspiring and creative. Anything else anyone else wants to do?
More library shit.
And also, yeah, if there's places that people can only go with me, like I would do that as much as possible.
Yeah.
But especially if it was library stuff, that'd be way easier because I'll be in the library a lot.
So I would probably have Harmony with me when, speaking of maps, going and trying to look at, because the Sylvan Dynasty area of the world is closer to where that area was marked on the map of the ocean that I had seen in the weaving that the follower of Emiya did in the Lost Woods. I would be looking for like sea charts for the area, seeing what people had charted before, if there is anything that was weird about that area, log books of ships that were through the Sapphire Sea, things like that. Just trying to see like why this space, what was the connection here, and kind of just trying to get a general sense of that. And then additionally, keeping my big floppy ears to the ground of since Sylvan Dynasty is pretty close to Zonir, which is where my people are, any rumblings of news coming from there, trying to pick up on what the latest kind of happenings / any big developments, but that's the like secret thing that not secret, but like I'm not going around asking necessarily,
Sure.
just kind of like keeping an ear to the ground about it. But definitely doing some map research with Harmony, who I'm sure is already in the map library too a good bit, working on
Yeah.
refining your map of the
Yeah,
Lost
kind of
Woods.
tidying it up, using some actual rulers at like a standing desk kind of thing, cleaning up I'm like basically using, because I would think like the classes are done because I'm on my like go do your thing, second semester.
You're not actively in
Yeah.
any classes.
And so that little extra time that's left is like get all your stuff ready. So I would be doing stuff like that, yeah. So I'm like tidying up the map, like adding extra stuff, getting some more paper, grouping it all together into like a nice little scroll, like
Putting the portfolio together.
yeah. Preparing my portfolio.
Tim, give me an investigation check for me, please.
That is going to be a 15.
15. Unfortunately, no news of Zonir that you at least hear. No chatter or rumblings or anything like that. And also, another place that, while there is a more diverse group of like species, races, and different kinds of people here, you're once again in a minority. And weirdly enough, the people that join you in the minority are Anara and Zakkai, any kind of like humanoid-looking people. You see as not just a student body, but if you look outside of the school into the city of Yokai, humans are 1,000% a major minority here. Everyone here is either the primary population is made up of elves and very like kind of fey lineaged people. Lots of satyrs, centaurs, dryads, fairies, vast amount of species and people that you wouldn't see in major other parts of Elberin. Just different kinds of people. It's not uncommon to see Janazi, but a bit more obvious looking, kind of like walking around. And at one point, while you're probably tagging along and bored out of your mind in the library, Zakkai.
I was actually going to say I wanted to join.
If you're in the library at one point in time, Harmony is hard at work with her rulers and straight edges and making the maps look nice. At one point, you do hear Harmony! As you see at the other end of the library, the door flies open, and you see your friend Riz standing
Riz!
there.
Yes! And I'll like run over, like
He runs right up to you. You all see a dark-skinned young man, Harmony's age, sort of like hair shorn on the sides, sort of like mohawk of twists of not full like dreads, but that's sort of like, you know, the twisted hairstyles with like beads and cuffs kind of like linked between them. His hair, as he kind of like moves his head, like the ends of his hair almost drift off in little like clouds that kind of like come off of him, but he never loses any mass to himself. In his dark skin is highlighted with very vibrant blue, crystal blue eyes, and from the tips of his fingers down to like the wrist, on each finger is like a thin blue line that seems to not just like a tattoo, but it's not like a scar. It's just a marking, a birthmark that happens to be on each hand, and you see a couple of them peek out from underneath his sleeves that look very curly and cloudy as Air Janazi kind of like, as he runs up to you, his feet like touch the ground only every 3 steps as he sort of like steps off of the air as he comes up to you, throws his arms around you.
I'm sure I like jump up and then we do what we always do where he like float swings and we like spin and kind of like float, come back down.
And then
it's like a couple spins.
Lands afterwards like, I'm so glad you're here. You just won me 15 gold. Someone else bet me that you were dead, and I knew you'd come back. So.
Well, they were fools, and you were right, obviously.
Always am.
Me too.
I know.
It's a guy who rolls his eyes.
I should know. I only get A's because I cheat off your pages.
And, you know, you helped me get into, like, just the right amount of, like, fun trouble sometimes.
That's what I do.
Well, I mean, you've got to tell me everything that's been going on here, but also, I'm assuming if everyone, I don't know if everyone's here or whatever, but...
in this moment, everyone is here.
Meet my friends, my adventuring party. We're the Second Law.
Oh, good name. Hi, guys. I'm Riz.
Thought you'd like it.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello,
Riz.
Hi, Riz.
Didn't know I was going to be replaced so fast.
Oh, never. There's always room for one more.
I'll take it.
That's what I've always said.
This is Zakkai. I figured you would.
I like you.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Riz. He kind of like lingers on you for a moment, and you think for a moment it might kind of be flirty, but there's a sort of like eye narrow of like maybe recognition, but he sort of dismisses it and kind of just waves it off and immediately looks. But you catch that moment where he saw something that might be there,
Mhm.
but kind of looks away and kind of looks at everybody else. Like, wow, you guys are a pretty awesome looking group. Not gonna lie, you cover pretty much every size of person. Hi, he kind of like looks up at you, like you are very tall.
That is correct. Yeah, I mean, it can come in handy sometimes.
As you speak, he like levitates off the ground until his eye level with you. He's like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I think it's more polite this way. You don't gotta crane your
absolutely.
neck.
I appreciate that. That's good. Hi, I'm Tem. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I'm sorry, and he kind of immediately drops down into like a kneel. Hey!
Hi.
Sorry, didn't mean to like, get all high mighty on you.
That's okay, that happens all the
I
time.
know a couple of fairies that do not like being looked down on, so.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's
Pleased to meet
Nik-Nak.
you.
You met Tem. That's Anara.
Hey, oh.
Hi.
Maybe you guys could do some sparring or something. Anara's
You
a
see
really
that
good
on his
fighter.
back, he also has a very kind of like gently curved katana-esque kind of sword on his back, which is almost not identical, but similarly wrapped, but in a kind of sky blue kind of wrapping as opposed to your purple.
I'd be delighted.
You know how to use it?
I have a trick or two.
Do you know this one? He pulls the sword out and then kind of lets it go as it just kind of like floats and dances around him and catches it and puts it back.
No, mine more.
It's real easy. I'll teach you.
Wow,
Uh,
have you
where
been
do I start?
studying without me?
I kind of have to. And also, here's my notes. And he kind of like puts down like a small stack of parchment, which you are familiar with his notes. It is a lot of just like scribbles, and not a lot of it is in the lines. It's very just kind of here, there, and everywhere. But he kind of puts them down, and he's like, so yeah, that's patrons and patrons and packs. Thank you. Sorry, patrons and packs.
How do I know more about this than you? I'm not even a warlock.
I know. I just,
Is there any high level things I need to remember just in case?
I mean, yeah, probably.
All right, I'll just thank you for the notes. I'll give these a little once over just in case I need to, know any buzzwords or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And who are you?
That's
Kind of like
Basil.
drifts really close.
Hi, I'm Basil.
Your ears are electrifying.
Uh-huh.
Is that good? That seems dangerous?
I mean, it can be good. Feels good. I mean, I can heal stuff sometimes, so that feels good.
You got a weird little group. I really like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
We kind of cover all the bases, and I've even learned a little bit from everybody. I think we did a really good job.
How are you all surviving Harmony?
She's
It's
great.
been-
She's the best music ever.
It's been wonderful. We all were a little bit taken aback of the intensity of the project that we were tasked with at first, but it worked out well. Harmony was very dedicated in her pursuit of knowledge.
You all got your ears, so she hasn't talked them off yet. She does that a lot.
More or less.
But no, it was touch and go for a second, but we made it out.
Well, I definitely want to hear all about it, but I am very, very late to class.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Well, good luck with your excuse, and I'll just go and give him a little inspiration that I'm sure happens all the time.
Don't forget to come back and spot when you're done.
Absolutely.
Try to think of a new one this time. Find me later.
I'll work on it. And he kind of drifts sort of lifts off the ground and turns without touching the ground and kind of drifts out of the room.
I'm so glad you guys got to finally meet Riz. He's so great. He's like my best friend here, and my first friend.
Actually, reminds me a bit of someone else, and looking at Zakkai a little bit.
Yeah, even I caught that.
They don't look really anything alike.
Oh,
Oh,
not
the-
looks.
the energy.
Not looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a vibe.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
Well,
He seems.
No, in a
is
good
he,
way, in a
is
great
he,
way.
A warrior? He a fighter?
They both like curved swords.
yeah, he's
Sometimes
Pact
curved.
of the Blade
Hands a little
Warlock.
Sometimes
Oh.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also half Air Genasi and half elf.
He's good with his work. I would love to.
Oh yeah, he
Practice, it's been a
gives me
while.
extra practice after my usually after fencing club, because it's very fencing very strict and very kind of formal, and so then he kind of helps me a little more, add some flair and and helps me loosen up a little bit sometimes, especially when I get a little too focused on homework or something.
What do you mean?
Didn't sound like
He's I think he was going to be shocked at the woman you're coming back as, having seen more of the world.
Are there a lot of Genasi here?
No, not necessarily. It's more like fae leaning, elf leaning, just from the location.
I see.
But he mostly only lives with his elf side of his family anyways, and they're I don't know where exactly. They're somewhere in around Yokai, so
Does he know his Genasi side of the family?
no, not really.
Well,
I don't ask too much about it. It seems like it's not, it's a little bit of like a sore subject, just because I don't think he really has much contact with them, and it's probably hard, if he ever had questions about something that had to do with being an air genasi and no one to show him anything.
Yeah.
But that's why we practice together too. I practice some of my magic. He kind of tries to keep practicing, different whatever air and wind type of stuff he does. He makes really good fart noises too. Oh my god.
what does he study here? You were talking about studying for packs and patrons.
Yeah, he was a warlock, so he's in. Well, he hopefully should be in Pax and Patrons 3 by now, but we met in intro level in like the first day of school. I'm assuming this looks like third year notes, so I think he should have made it to 3 somehow. So that's good. Yeah.
Is he? Will you be graduating at the same time?
Yeah.
No.
That's the plan. I'm pretty sure he's doing well enough to graduate.
Are there books on Genasi here?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. There's plenty of libraries, and I've never looked, for anything more Earth-related, but we could go find something.
Yeah, if it's around.
Yeah, we're spending time in the library all the time, and I know that's not your usual stomping grounds, but
No, not usually, but exceptions can be made. We should hit up Do you have parties here?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always parties somewhere.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, it might
there's a lot of parties.
That'd be fun to check out the social atmosphere here.
it's a very different social structure than my university, so I'm interested as well to see the student life.
Hey, you seem popular.
Well, I mean, I'm in a lot of clubs and people know who I am, and like I end up kind of helping and doing some kind of informal tutoring a lot. And when it's mostly Riz. Riz knows a lot of people. He knows everybody, and everyone thinks he's really cool, and he is really cool. And also, it's really nice that he, became my friend, and kind of I get to meet a lot of people through him. I'm sure he can tell us where the parties are. I don't usually go, but I have been.
Yeah.
I have been.
I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Sure. We'll see. We'll see how you party it up.
I play music and have a drink.
Whoa.
And stay out late.
And she stays out late.
Yeah. And I have to sneak back into my room.
Oh, is it really strict here?
I think they must have a curfew. I'm sure they enforce it.
Yeah.
Self-enforced
It's not the school, it's my own rules.
I've never made it to never made it to needing to know.
Speaking of late, throughout the other parts of the week that you're staying there. And one night in particular, while Harmony are up in the library putting some final touches on a map they were not able to complete, you were all given the 2 rooms to kind of like divide yourselves into, each with 2 beds. Who's where? Just real quick. Or has been, or have you kind of been swapping around? Or does it not matter?
I probably would be with Basil.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I very much like used to like sleeping on the floor. So if other people wanted to be in that room and take the bed, that's fine.
Is a normal size bed like a twin, like a dorm bed?
You find that when you get to the bed, it's got the 4 posts on it with the sort of like the little wooden knob at the top. If you turn the sphere, the bed kind of.
Oh, okay,
grow
great,
or
awesome.
shrink,
Yeah,
depending
I'll
on
take the
your
bed
needs.
in
Is
there.
Kelly still around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering.
What's he been? Was he invited?
Almost the moment
I'm
you
not showing him
arrived.
the count, I'm just saying that.
Almost the moment you arrived, he flipped you a lazy salute and started walking away.
Okay.
Sounds like Kiln.
Do we think we
I'm,
can
I'm fine with taking the ground too. I sleep on the ground a lot, so if anyone wants a bed,
I just said.
I mean, you've got your own room, right?
yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
I'm
You're
not
on
here.
there.
I have my own room.
Well,
Tem will go back and forth between the 2 rooms then, because there's one empty bed in each one. And
Oh,
he's
there's
like,
just an empty. Oh, if there's just an empty bed.
well,
I'll take it.
because you're sleeping on the floor,
I just-
right? If you take the
Yes.
other bed, and if you're sleeping on the floor, then
You
there's
probably
an
sleep on
empty
the
bed.
floor?
Yeah.
All right.
So-
I can sleep on the bed.
Tem's
Probably
like,
share the bed this way.
Yeah.
I don't really get in the cover. I just kind of like plop on top and like I'll just sleep on top of the
The maniac.
bed, like a maniac.
his dirty feet on the bed. Yeah.
During one of these nights, Anara, you settle into your meditation. The world sort of fading into the shadows around you. You pass into that familiar darkness that you know very well, until it is unfamiliar. You still feel nothing, see nothing. It's just sort of like being in one of those sensory deprivation tanks where you're just sort of floating in darkness. But you hear things. Commotion. Weapons clanging together. Desperate shouts for help. Fires burning and roaring. People screaming. The ground beneath you suddenly tilts as you suddenly tumble forward and land, and you're sitting in a chair. You sit in an opulent dining hall, a grand table set before you, littered with food and drink. There's a woman seated across from you, with a beaming smile on her face. What's wrong, love? You haven't touched a thing, or you're feeling unwell?
do I recognize this woman?
No.
I'm just not hungry right now.
You sort of look down and you see your hands, old, withered, and kind of worn by time. You kind of like catch out of the corner of your eye, there's a mirror on the wall. You see you, but you are not you. You see a older nobleman dressed in luxurious splendor, frail and withered by time, though kindly with warm green eyes. You sort of like turn back to her and she encourages you. Well, go on. We spent all day making this for you.
What is it?
You can like look down. There's no shortage of options. There's like a decadent like desserts, goblets of wine, like freshly made roast like vegetables on a skewer. There's all kinds of things that you've seen before and things that you've never seen before.
Right.
It all looks delicious.
So a memory kind of comes back into my mind of when I used to live in the village where all the food was very simple. So I look for something that I recognize, I don't know, skewered meat or something, vegetable that looks familiar, and kind of tentatively reach out and try and eat it.
You eat it. It's
Do I taste anything?
you do. It's delicious. You take a bite and you almost like you feel like the warmth run down your throat first before even like it lands there. The flavors electrify.
You're just like close my eyes for a second and bask in the sensation of it.
You feel it, that the sense of satisfaction from food is, it's almost like you're feeling it for the first time. And as quick as that feeling comes, it is gone. As you go to like take a second bite, your jaw locks Your muscles tighten, and it's almost as if your bones have turned to stone. You can't speak, you can't move. Your body suddenly feels restricted. You hear something plop into the, like, there's a small teacup on a saucer in front of you, and you see what drops into it is a bloody tooth. Your tooth. As you sort of like feel another of your teeth loosen, you feel a faint trickle run down your side of your face, down from your nose and off the side here. Across from the table, that woman, her like face cracks a little bit as she slowly smirks at you. Oh, I thought that toxin would never kick in. Don't worry, dear. It'll all be over soon. Thank you for the inheritance, darling. And she sort of like stands up, pats you on the shoulder, and walks out of the room. And you're sort of just locked there. Very, very slowly dying at your own dinner table. And that's normally where these visions end, but not this time. You hear a cracking sound. That mirror off to the side where you saw yourself. As if someone had thrown a rock against it, is completely shattered now. And you see some of the shards start pushing forward. And the cracks start to widen and go off the mirror all along the wall, up the ceiling, on down the floor. You see like the roast like meat in front of you cracks. And the world around you starts to like break apart. And on that mirror, the glass kind of like pushes open as a hand kind of reaches out towards you and is trying to get at you.
I like
You
retreat. Hold my.
couldn't even if you wanted to. Your body is locked. But it can't reach you. It's still trying to though. Its claws in
Just
the
a
air
hand?
towards
Is there
at
a
you.
face behind it?
Just a hand. And it's kind of clawing at you. You see that the hand is made of stone. It is also cracked. But almost as if that same art form where if you break a pot but you fix it with like molten
Oh,
gold.
like some little.
Yeah, it's a statue's arm, but as if every joint had been broken and is filled in with like liquid gold, which makes it able to like move and bend like a normal hand. And it kind of reaches out towards you and claws at you. From the darkness in all those cracks throughout the room, you hear, "We want it back!" And the hand reaches out towards you, and you are there in your meditative stance, Anara sitting on the ground.
Is anyone else in the room right now?
Nik-Nak is sleeping on the floor underneath one of the beds, and Basil is snoring on top of the other bed.
I
Just like flies.
a few thoughts flash into my head. My initial instinct is to wake one of them, but I kind of just sit with the memory for a bit and try and get back into the meditation and push it out of my head.
Somewhere else in the school, Harmony is hard at work late at night, crafting her map. Harmony, it's been a dangerous, confusing, thrilling, rewarding, and challenging path for you lately. You'd set out from Prismari seeking the thesis of your final dissertation, and not only found the subject of your study, but found that she had been corrupted by and had been hoarding and preparing to hatch the egg of a titan. Regardless of Selka's fate, this knowledge and information is incredibly valuable and sure to prove quite a thrilling topic. Though your journey has come with challenges and unexpected twists, it's nonetheless been successful. You can practically see your final grade. You can call yourself a true bardic student of magic. Thankfully, what happens next happens while you are alone. A sudden sting, a burning heat that doesn't hurt you but does shock you at its sudden appearance. That locket that you wear, the infernal metal heats, and you feel a faint wisp of like fiery magic kind of coming out from beneath your shirt. The locket buckles and strains against the tiny latch that's holding it closed.
And then I'll just look around and then, okay, coming, and then open it.
As you open it, a inferno erupts out of it. This stream, it's like a fire hose of
I turn
fire.
away from my papers.
Not
The
again,
fire
not again.
spills out of it. It's incredibly hot, though nothing burns. Nothing is like touched by the flames, but it is incredibly hot even for you. The fire suddenly kind of spills out and then contracts. pulling in on itself and condensing, forming a figure made out of solid flame, the shoulders and head of a woman. Deep red skin, eyes that are simply pools of hellfire, long hair that drifts and floats weightlessly around her head. A series of long, sharp horns rise sharply from her hair like twisting spires rising out of a sea of fire. Her face is as gorgeous and breathtaking as it is sharp, fierce, and terrifying. Your mother, Lillinell, smiles down at you. Harmony, my sweet little hellspawn, my precious warlock in the making.
Mama!
It's been
Hi.
too long. Tell me everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a long time since our last time that we got to catch up.
Oh, too long. I'm so sorry it's been so long.
It's okay. I was really busy too. Riz and I were working on our final project, so I know.
It means that you're almost done. You're almost ready.
It's almost graduation time. Obviously, I'll graduate with straight A's, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I would not expect anything less.
But, that's sounds so boring. I feel like I say that every time you call. Well, how have you been? How's work?
Oh, torture, mayhem, pools of lava, eternal screams of the voices of the damned. Same old, same old.
Yeah. Well, at least you got a break to call me, so that's nice.
Yes.
Must be busier than usual.
It is. Not going to lie to you, dear. It's been a rough century. Just lots of busy work. They're keeping me busy, but all I know is that thanks to you, I might be able to retire early.
Yes, we're working on it. We'll get you out of there.
Absolutely. Now tell me, your final's coming up. Yes. All right. Now, what exactly does one do for a final in order to become a true warlock?
Well, usually the final projects for, any classes will be some sort of like adventure. So actually, Riz and I just got back, and I made some other friends too. So I have a whole party. I made an adventuring party, and we have a name. We're called the Second Law.
Catchy.
It's good. It's good.
Catchy.
Mm-hmm. And it's like already gives us a sense of authority, even though
very marketable.
We've only done what? We're thinking long term. That's what you always said. Think long term.
At least 2 centuries ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm gonna present my final. They make us write it all down so that we have something to, present to them. I can't just say, we went to the Lost Woods and came back. But so we. Well, I know that you didn't love this, but for now I took the same patron as Riz so that we could work together. I know, but I can always
She
switch.
had exhales and the entire room kind of heats up, and you can even see a couple of stray other people's pages on desks start to curl a little bit as the pages start to scorch a little bit on the ends.
I know, but I can't take my mom as my patron. That's so weird.
I think it would be fine.
Everyone would make fun of me. And then they'd say I'm getting special treatment. I know you don't like it. I know that you'd prefer something else, but I'll switch soon. But for school, while I'm still in school, Riz and I are working together. So we are doing an archfey kind of thing. We had to go find some old ruins in the Lost Woods.
I suppose it's fine. I mean, it's a good runner-up. It's a fine second patron.
It's expected. It fits. It fits. We're in yokai. It fits. It's
I understand. I do. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
And sure, a mother can be a little jealous that she can't step in and do whatever she can to assist her.
I know. You just want to give me everything.
Absolutely,
it's okay.
I will.
Well, soon. But yeah, we found this old ancient rune stone thing that I guess this archfey person had been looking for a really long time, and So we brought that back, and they're just gonna, I guess they just put all these things down in some sort of cellar or
Lose
something.
things
But,
so easily.
well, yeah, they just are so detached from reality. I can't wait to
Nonsense.
switch.
I don't know how you make heads or tails of what they are saying. Those fey packs and rules and why can't a contract just be simple, straightforward? Soul power. That's it.
Well, they hate it because I'm so smart and I always see everything, always read the fine print. That's the other thing you always said.
Absolutely, because there is always.
Actually, I
fine
guess you
print.
probably wouldn't say that. You say that to me because you want to help me, but maybe you wouldn't tell that to people.
Well, it depends. What the nature of the pact is. Why am I teaching you this? You should know all this already.
Oh, no, I do. I just love talking shop with you. It's so fun.
I couldn't be prouder. I can't.
Thank you.
It's going to be. And she looks off at something that isn't there, and she kind of turns away. The face kind of dissipates, so you only kind of see the back of the head. She kind of turns around. I'm so sorry, dear. I have some business to attend to.
That's okay. We'll be together. We can spend our vacation on the beach soon enough.
Anything other than endless, barren, war-torn desert and pools of blood, because frankly it gets old and you just want to see oceans that aren't filled with the bobbing heads of millions and millions of people that have died over the centuries. So, and I hear that water in the material plane is blue.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen blue in I don't even know how long.
Well, soon enough. I am the #1 student. I will find a way to get you out of there, and then we will take our beach vacation and we'll swim in the blue ocean.
Can't wait.
I'll tell Dad you say hi.
She reaches out and because the illusion sort of ends at the shoulders, but out of it, just burning hand of flames kind of reaches out and gently caresses your cheek. Not at all hot to you, just a soft kind of and then she ends it with a little kind of uptick of the chin. Now make sure that you present very, very well.
Of course. I'm
And?
practicing.
If any of the moderators happen to be worshippers, I will do all I can to pull whatever strings I need to.
Okay, I mean, you don't need to do anything unfair.
I know,
I'll be
you want to earn it,
fine
you
by
want to play by the rules.
It's okay. Obviously, I don't know what you get up to down there, but I assure you the A+ is in the bag.
Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Okay, well, I don't want to hold you up. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Kisses, she leans in. Her head this big, kind of leans in.
Finally.
You kind of wrap your arms on this oversized neck
It's
before the flames immediately contract and go back in the locket snapshot.
Okay, well, good thing that I had his notes. Okay. And then I'll just go back to finishing up my bard work.
Kind of going, filling in the rest of the map, kind of filling it in, finishing up your bardic final dissertation, which you will hear next time.
But it's lying.
My parents didn't want me to be a musician.
Why you always lying?
Typical.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
that would be nice to have.
Whoa.
Nice,
Oh,
everybody.
also, hot mom. Oh my god.
Right?
Everybody, welcome to the Sylvan Dynasty in Prismari and
Yeah!
across the narrow sea. We'll see what kind of
We get around.
crazy stuff you guys get into this time when we come back. Thank you so much for joining us for Tales of Terragia. You guys come back next week or whenever the next video is posted. Trust us, the next one is coming because how can we not at this point?
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Bye.